Let's talk about money. For so many of us, it's a huge source of stress and anxiety, just this constant struggle. We try to budget, we try to save, but it feels like we're just spinning our wheels, right? Well, what if the real key to getting ahead isn't in our spreadsheets, but in our heads? That's exactly what we're going to dig into today.
I mean, seriously, why is it so hard? This is a question that stumps millions of people. You can be absolutely brilliant in your job, a total genius at your hobbies, but when it comes to personal finance, it feels like you're missing some secret piece of the puzzle. What is going on?
Because the story we're always told is that it's just a math problem. It's all about interest rates and spreadsheets and quarterly earnings. We're taught that if you can just get the formulas right, everything will magically fall into place. But what if that's not even close to the whole picture? What if the real battle isn't with the numbers on a screen, but with the complicated and often totally hidden stories running on a loop inside our own minds? This is the big idea we're diving into.
So this is why so much of that traditional financial advice just falls flat. It almost always fails because it's only looking at the numbers. It treats us like we're just walking calculators and completely ignores the messy, emotional, and, very human side of dealing with money.
In this quote from psychiatrist David Krieger, wow, it just gets right to the heart of it. Money isn't just paper or pixels. It's a vehicle for our hopes, our fears, our biggest dreams, our deepest insecurities. It is profoundly emotional.
Okay, so this brings us to the core concept of this whole explainer, which comes from Sarah Newcomb's book, Loaded. It's this idea of your money story, your own personal financial narrative. This right here is the turning point. See, it's not about the dollar amount in your bank account. It's about what that amount makes you believe about yourself, about your worth, your potential, your place in the world. Getting a handle on that story, that's the real first step. So, what is a financial narrative exactly? Well, think of it like this subconscious script you've been writing your whole life, probably since you were a little kid. It's made up of things your parents said, or maybe what they didn't say about money. It's shaped by your wins, your losses, and all the cultural messages you've soaked up along the way. And the script, it's quietly directing your financial choices every single day. Now, to make this idea really concrete, let's just look at the author's own life. Sarah Newcomb gives us this incredibly powerful example of how a hidden money story can totally sabotage even the smartest people out there. And this is just the perfect illustration of the whole problem. Here you have someone who graduated with the highest honors in mathematics. She could run circles around a balance sheet. She understood compound interest perfectly. And yet, she was living in a constant state of financial anxiety. It proved to her and to us that being good with money has almost nothing to do with being good at math. So this was the belief system at the very center of her personal story. She grew up with this powerful message that you have to choose. You're either a good person who cares about people, or you're a greedy person who cares about money. And because she wanted to be a good person, she basically turned her back on her own finances. But the reality, the actual result, was that by avoiding money, she was limiting her ability to help anyone, including herself. She was just trapping herself in this endless loop of stress and closing doors to her own future. And seeing that disconnect, that was what led to her big aha moment. It was a complete breakthrough. She realized she had to totally reframe how she thought about what money actually is. It wasn't the villain she'd made it out to be. She finally understood that her anger wasn't really at money itself. It was at the injustice and the inequality she saw in the world. She was blaming the tool, this inanimate object that has no will of its own, for how some people chose to use it. And that insight changed everything. So this is the new definition she started living by. Money is just neutral. It's a resource, it's a tool, and it's full of potential. You can use it to build a hospital, or you can use it to build a weapon. It can fund a life-saving charity or a destructive habit. How it's used is a choice. And that perspective puts all the power right back in your hands. Okay, so this brings it all back to you. We've seen how a hidden story can drive our behavior without us even realizing it. So the most important step you can take right now isn't to download a new budgeting app, it's to first uncover your own financial narrative. So I really want you to take a second and think about these. What were the messages about money that you got from your family growing up? What does being wealthy truly mean to you? Is it about freedom, security, power? Pay attention to that feeling you get when you spend money. Is it joy, guilt, anxiety?
Really digging into these feelings is how you start to understand and eventually rewrite the script that might be holding you back. Because that right there is the crucial point. Once you understand the story you've been telling yourself, you get the power to change it. Your financial past does not have to define your financial future. The pen is in your hand. So what's your next chapter?